Hi, hello everybody. Thanks more. Happy to be here. I will speak very slow because my kid should arrive. He just came with a taxi, so I'm waiting for him. Not to miss. Anyhow, somebody gonna start with the... So hi, I'm Yossi, and I'll use a presentation and I'll try to give you a bit of an overview about how I see the sports tech in general and in Israel in particular. I'm going to start with playing a video. Anybody here from Croatia or New Zealand by a chance? No.
Coming to the line, has he taken Mahe Drysdale? It looks very much like it. It's Damir Martin from Drysdale, but Drysdale has a finish. Oh!
That happened 1 year ago, Rio, 2 kilometers, rowing finals. One guy from New Zealand, the defending champion, the other guy from Croatia. Who do you think won the race? I can play it again, but... Oh. 1 second. So the Croatian guy thinks he's the winner. The New Zealand guy thinks he's the winner. Anybody can guess who is the winner? Who was the winner? Both. So they've been using the photo finish camera, which is of course a technology, and you can see the number 4 was the first to win, and Martin was the second. You can see the time. You see they have the same timing, both of them. So this guy gets the gold. Also, the New Zealand Post made a new stamp for him, and the other guy just missed, and he missed by 1/5000th of a second. It's 0.000 something 2 of a second. And you know, in sports, a fraction of an inch or a fraction of a second means the whole thing. One takes the goal, the other one remains without that. So I'm going to talk a bit about the technology and how can technology improve our performance and give us the competitive advantage that we need. So sports market, it's a huge market. Just to give you some numbers, more than $700 billion spent on sports on 2015. Merchandise and some other things. Here you can see the revenues of sports. On the left side, you can see the top 20 European soccer club revenues going up. If you compare recent year, 12% up. On the right-hand side, you can see the major US sports league revenues. All the 4 leagues, NFL, MLB, NBA, and NHL, they are all making more money. By the way, there was recently some data released about the NBA teams. The average valuation of an NBA team is $1.3 billion. 6 years ago, it was $300 million. 6 years ago, 50% of the NBA teams were making money and 50% were losing money. Today, all of the NBA teams are profitable. Talking about consumption, you can see on the right-hand side the top 100 live TV programs in the US. So you can see in 2005, 14% of all the top 100 live sports programs were sports. 93% of them are sports. Sports is almost the only thing that you watch live that you don't watch on your own time. And now, once we understand that the sport is a big, growing global market, I want to say a few words about sport tech. So what is actually sports tech? We hear a lot about sports tech. So from my point of view, sports tech is utilization of technology in sports, fitness, and wellness. And technology, it's not that it will change the world of sport, it's actually changing these days the world of sports, and in 2 to 3 years, it will be a total different ballgame. From the way the players play on the field, to the way sports organizations manage the business, to the way we consume, to the way we watch sports at home. So to give you an idea of all the various aspects of sports tech, so you can see fan engagement, fitness, digital media, performance enhancement, esports, wearable, gear and equipment, injury prevention, smart stadiums, sports marketing, smart fabrics, recreation, and I can add some more, gaming, betting, and there are some others. The sports tech stakeholders are all the people that are involved, people or organizations, from athletes, can be a professional or amateur, to clubs, league fans, stadiums, coaches, health clubs, publishers, sponsors, sports equipment manufacturers, and so on and so forth. Several numbers about sports tech investments. So it is one of the most growing segments within technology investments. I still don't have the final numbers of 2016, but it's going to be a record again. And if you measure the last 3 years, it's more than $5 billion invested into sports tech ventures around the world. So just to give you a slight of feel about some of the verticals within sports tech. So for example, sports science. When we say sports science, we mean performance enhancement from player tracking to evaluation to training and to managing and planning the game, to the side of the health of the player, the safety of the player, injury assessment, injury prevention, and once you're injured, treatment and recovery. Nutrition, there are a lot of projects going currently trying to suggest the right nutrition for the specific athlete. It doesn't make sense that we all drink the same energy drink and we eat the same bar. It will be a specific one for each demand and each criteria, if each one of us, for sure, for the top athletes. Smart stadiums, another field that is doing a lot of improvement. So smart stadiums, what is it? Anything from, first of all, connectivity. It doesn't make sense that I come to the stadium for 2-3 hours and I'm without connectivity. I cannot surf, I cannot upload pictures, videos, and so on. To the content, imagine that today, let's take out Barcelona and Real Madrid and these teams, to make me come to watch a game on the pitch, on the field, to buy an expensive ticket, to drive for hours, to wait in the queue. It's an effort. I can sit home with my 4K TV, with the air condition, with a drink, with a toilet nearby, without having to arrive back late at night. So you need to make things that will make me come to the stadium. For example, content. It doesn't make sense that today, when I go to watch a football game, and there's a penalty, I call my wife and tell her, please open the TV and have a look on the replay so we'll know if it was a penalty or wasn't a penalty. So to be able to watch replays, to get contact, to get data, statistic, real time once I'm in the stadium. Of course, all the contests, promotion, discounts, and so on and so forth. And also from the eyes of the operator of the stadium, ticketing, dynamic or not dynamic ticketing, security and safety. Again, it doesn't make sense today that when we go to a venue, we go to a sports game, we just have the ticket. Nobody knows who is entering with that ticket and who we are and what is our background. Mass transportation, event management. Today, in stadiums that are being built, first of all, the price of a stadium is between $2 to $3 billion per stadium. And there are 100, on average, 100 jumbo screens on each stadium. So imagine just to operate and synchronize all of these ones, you need a CTO dedicated in the stadium all the time of the event. Israel, I think we can skip that, how smart we are and how successful we are in startups. But what about sports? So in sports, it's not a secret, we are not that good in sports. Sometimes, we need to ask for the help of the third party in order to succeed, and even then it doesn't always help. But what about sports tech? So in sports tech, we are real experts. And why is that? Because we have the underlying technologies that are relevant for sports tech. Computer vision, artificial intelligence, machine learning, data and analytics, Internet of Things, 3D printing, bioinformatics, all of these things are technologies that are either invented or developed in Israel, and we have a lot of experience. And once people identified that there's a new vertical with a lot of money in it, we see a shift of a lot of technologies into the vertical of sports tech. So this is why we all believe sports tech will be successful in Israel, and we have already some good examples. Here you can see a sample of Israel, I would say, leading sports tech ventures. I have another 2 slides with more and more ventures. I decided to put these ones. So some of them you are able to see on the outside, some of them you're familiar with. One of them was just here, is already an exit and is owned by Intel. That's a sample of the investors in the Israeli sports tech. I'm talking about international investors. So you can see all of them from Intel, Deutsche Telekom, recently invested Verizon Ventures in Playsight, Guggenheim, Battery Ventures, and so on. As to myself, I put my money where my mouth is, so I already invested in 2 sports tech companies. The first is WSE Sports. Aviv and Arnona are here. And in Insights, Guy Edgar and the guys, one is dealing with creating automatically videos. You will hear about it. And the other deals with bringing the sound of the pitch to the people at home. This led me at the end of the day to decide to create the first sports tech VC in Israel, a dedicated VC for sports tech. You know, we have a lot of money in Israel to invest in startups. We have a lot of VCs, local, foreign. We have a lot of angels, incubator, accelerators, and so on and so forth. We have no address for sports tech. And while some of the challenges for sports tech are identical to the other challenges of cyber startup and fintech startup, there are some challenges that are very specific and relevant. And also, if you look in terms of network, you have the offices here of Intel and Google and Facebook and SAP, but you don't have any R&D center of the NFL here in Tel Aviv or Barcelona Football Club or Nike. So that's the reason that led me at the end of the day to create this fund. The chairman is Alex Giladi. I think he's the most successful, decorated for sure, Israeli sports tech. He's been in the NBC sports tech for many decades, in charge of global operations, actually in charge of each and every Olympic. He's also the vice chairman of the Olympic of Tokyo 2020. He's already helping some startups with getting connection into the Olympic. Advisory board, here are some athletes or past athletes like David Blatt, Yael Arad, Andy Ram, Omri Ofek, and some sports executives like Pete Scott, head of innovation internal sports, like Professor Miki Shainovich, Erez Morag, Miki Tamir, who you'll get to hear soon. These are the strategic partners of the fund. On the bottom, they are all Israeli partners, Maccabi Tel Aviv Basketball, Maccabi Haifa, Holmes Place, Channel 5, and so on, Deloitte, of course, and international Nike Inc. from America. So the thesis in general is, if you believe that sports is a growing global market, and if you believe Israel is the right market for sports technology, and if you find the right team to do that, so I think it's a reason to invest in sports tech. You know who is this guy? Nobody knows? His name is Yogi Berra. Actually, it's not his name, it's his nickname, but he's one of the most successful ever baseball players. He won 18 times All-Star, 10 times series champion, and 3 times MVP of the MLB. And he was famous for his sayings, and one of them was, "The future ain't what it used to be." So trust me also about sports tech, the future ain't what it used to be. We're gonna see a huge development. We're gonna see massive growing in terms of sports in general and sports tech in particular. Thanks.